All right, gang. So I'm making the very smart decision of breaking into this frame, which is this, you remember, at 1 a.m. drunk completely. Do not do this at home. I do not recommend. And I'm also not using the right tools, so maybe I should put this down. Do you guys know about the whole drunken, I forget what it is, with the actors, and they like do the drunken history? Yeah, well, this is the drunken history of pinboard making. Okay, this is a lot thicker than I expected. This is like a piece of cardboard. Okay, I'm gonna use something a little more hardcore here. Better get out my big blade. I'm drunk. I have had a little too much wine, and this is not smart at all for me to do, but you get to see really unwise decision making, which is always fun, right? All right, let's see what we got in here. Is it a surprise? Okay, interesting. Yay, staples, which I hate with a passion. Please, people, do not staple your art. I mean, it's just barbaric. Barbaric, I tell you. All right. I do not recommend doing this the way I'm doing it right now, but couldn't sleep. And so we're doing this right now. And I'm doing it one-handed because somebody has to do the camera, right? And no one's gonna be up right now doing this ridiculousness. My husband is doing the smart thing and actually sleeping, which I should be doing, but I'm not tired and too excited about some of these boards. Actually, you know, what I should be doing is finishing. So I have this order for a set of Harry Potter boards. So the colors are basically of all the houses. So yellow, green, red, and blue. And super excited about that. But I was interrupted because I cannot find the rest of my swivels in this mess, which no one who actually knows me will be at all surprised by this. There are much better ways of ripping this off than what I'm doing with what I'm doing right now. But I figure somebody will be entertained by this video. Probably not myself. I might be too embarrassed to actually show this to anyone, but at least it is saved for posterity, and it looks like this is sealed onto the stapled stuff, which is awful. Well, this is unpleasant to find out. Okay, now I am using scissors in a very unorthodox way here. Do not do this at home, again, as I said before. There are much better ways to do this with, other tools other than regular scissors, which I'm using right now. And if I were not so inebriated, I probably would use some more, and I should probably move this order because that would be not great to get that all messed up. All right, I'm digging in here, and it looks like this. Do you see that shiny stuff? That was glued on there. Why do people do this to their art? I just don't understand. Why? And again, do not do this at home this way. There are much better ways. While I am doing this and you are bored out of your mind because this is not what you wanted to be doing with your Saturday night, unlike me, who has nothing better to do. You all probably have lives. You know, speaking a little more about kind of board making and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I think what I really like is the idea of matching colors with frames to be aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, forgive the mess. I have shit everywhere. Oh my gosh, I'm totally cursing on TV. That's awesome, Christina. So anyway, I am... Sorry, this video is awful. I should probably never show this to anyone, but I kind of think people will be entertained by my drunken ramblings, although I will probably be super embarrassed by it. Maybe I'll make the really bad decision of posting it before I'm not inebriated anymore. All right, so we're essentially in the layer. So as you can see here, there's lovely staples, which are not my friend and no one else's who is trying to get into a nice frame. So you can use a variety of different tools, okay? Like pliers are great. Usually you want to use thinner nose pliers than what I have right here. So let me look and see. Ah, there we go. So smaller pliers. I may be not well enough to actually do this, but we will try. I like to use a lot of torque because I have like 0 upper body strength, so I need to use some other kind of physics. Anybody here like physics? My sister is a theoretical physicist. She's brainiac, as you might imagine. There we go. We got one out. And, you know, I never really loved physics except for, like the lowest level, which is, you know, okay, you need calculus. Let's get real here. I mean, how can anyone understand physics without calculus? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, you know? Okay, sorry. This has nothing to do with board making. But back to the torque, you know, the torque makes sense to me, you know? Like, if you use a twisting motion, you know, you're exerting more force. And so I loved stuff that made sense to me. Like electricity and magnetism and optics, that shit doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense. So, obviously not my favorite thing. Okay, so we're moving on, getting more staples. Okay, maybe I should get that off. All right. So, yeah, talking about my sister. She is a theoretical physicist, and she is a quite very lovely person, but way smarter than I understand, which is okay because I have other strengths like freaking getting out staples from paintings, which is obviously can be converted. Okay, look, I just split that staple. This is why I hate staples, right? They like come apart and do all these funky things and will probably pierce you in the hand, and then you have to go to the ER in the middle of the night because you are drunk and thinking it's a good idea to take out thin metal appliances in the middle of the night just so you can do a video to entertain other people, which is not at all a good idea. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So using a twisting motion is always helpful in these matters because it increases the force at which you take out stuff. And it's also good to have a bag full of tools, which fortunately my husband has, because dude, I did not come into this marriage with a bag of tools. You can interpret that any way you want. So okay, we're taking this out. Okay, why did I think this was a good idea again? It's not, obviously. So do not do this when you're drunk, please, people, because you'll probably lose a hand. And if tomorrow morning I no longer a hand, you know why. No longer have a hand. All right. So look at that loveliness. Just like tearing up whatever fabric this is or whatever paper this is. So, yeah. If you have nothing else to do with your time, like most of us during COVID, take up crafting, because there's endless hours of fun of doing things that you never thought you would ever do in a million years. I am like, it's funny because one of my pin friends says that I'm handy, and I was laughing in his face. Well, virtually laughing in his face because I've never met him in person since COVID doesn't allow that. But I was like, are you serious? Handy? Like, if anybody that I knew in real life heard you saying that about me, they would just laugh you out of the room, because that is totally not me. All right. Hopefully you're not all bored out of your gourds, like watching me take out staples. But this is what it takes, guys. Like, who wants to do this crap, right? No one. So people, do not staple your freaking art. Just put it in a frame like anyone else without the staples, please. Because when inevitably somebody wants to remove said art and put something better in it, they don't have to remove like a bazillion staples. So anyway, I think I want to go out tomorrow and get another set of frames, because I'm addicted to doing that just as much as I am to buying pins. And although I will tell you guys that doing something else that is addictive certainly helps with other addictions. I don't think that's something I should probably promote. As I told you before, I used to be a doctor. I guess technically I'm still a doctor, I guess, but I don't feel like one since I haven't practiced in 2 years now. And, I do miss it, mostly because it's something that I was good at and people respected the position I was in. And, I didn't have to explain myself to anyone. And I was really, really, privileged to have that, And being in this position makes me realize that even more. The fact that I'm not able to do the things that I used to do. I mean, I used to do colonoscopies and endoscopies and other procedures, and here I am taking out staples, which, at least I'm not freaking killing anyone. You know what I mean? That's freaking stressful. That's something I don't miss, is having someone's life in my hands and knowing that if something screwed up, it would be my fault. I mean, I know some people like to play God, but that is totally not me. at all. And I think that's why medicine was probably not the best fit for me. Probably not. So, you know, that's how it goes. And, but I do miss having something that I know about and that people respect, that I know about, and say, you know what, you know things, but if I think about it, so I was a pediatrician. And if I think about it really honestly, let's face it, parents really don't respect it. Like, parents know their kids the best, which is absolutely true, and I still totally believe that. But this day and age, like, all they freaking want is their kid to be better and also make sense, but really doesn't make it easy for the pediatrician, because reality is, folks, the kid will probably make themselves better. And medicine, they always say, is an art, not a science. And it's because we don't know enough. Like, we know a lot of things, don't get me wrong. And thank goodness we live in this age and not in, like, the freaking 1800s. I've been watching Bridgerton, and I'm just like, yeah, that's hot, and I enjoy it a lot. But, man, I'm glad I didn't live then. Can you imagine living without antibiotics? I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm really glad that we have antibiotics, people, because I'd probably be dead already. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of infections. But, and, with this illness, with Darwinism and all that, the strongest will survive. I'm not that. So, thank goodness in this society where weak people will survive, because I'm one of those people. Okay, so we are finally through that freaking layer. Can you believe it? I can't. All right, guys, let's see what's under here. But continuing my totally bizarre and random monologue. So yeah, I don't, there's a lot of things about it I don't miss. I know some people love having people, so this is what just popped off the layer. Some people really love having people's lives in their hands. That is so not me. I don't want that responsibility ever. Thank you very much. Because it was stressful to me. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, you are never, da 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 da, here comes out the art. See, people, just seal it in like normal people. Don't staple it. That's just awful. Okay. So here's what we're left with, okay? We have glass, which is painful to get rid of, like I told you last time. And it's freaking heavy. All right, and not very safe for kiddos, so keep your kids away from that. Better than I do. All right, so this is what we're left with. Finally. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we need to remove. Because if there's like previous swivels or things that you bend down, you don't want those. All right. So, yeah, I don't really miss that. Like having people's lives in my hands or worrying about that at all. I mean, it's just, to me, not worth it. Yeah. I'd rather not be in a place where I have to decide if someone's going to live or die. All right, so here we have this frame. Now that we're talking about medicine, God knows how I got on that subject. So, now we can get into the whole cutting of cardboard and things like that and fitting into the frame, etc. But I'm going to stop this now because you guys are probably bored with me digging into this frame, but now you kind of see how it's done. But yeah, each frame is its own adventure. And yes, these are magnetic corkies from the lovely Ottoman and Tweak that I need to put aside. All right. But anyway, there you have it. And next time, maybe in a few hours when I'm more sober, we will go on a little field trip for the next set of frames. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.